What's up, guys? My name's Brandon, and I've been using the Apple Card ever since it was first released back in 2019, and I've spent nearly $300,000 on this card. And let me tell you, a lot has changed since my first video on this card about 6 years ago. So in this video, I'm going to be discussing the pros and the cons of this card, if you should apply for one at all, and why it's my go-to credit card despite having an Amex and a Costco City card. Okay, so let me start by saying that the Apple Card is a no fees card. So there's no annual fees, no foreign transaction fees, no late fees, and there's also no APR penalty. So it also easily has the best mobile interface of any credit card I've ever used, and it's not even close because the Apple Card interface here is built into the wallet application. So there's no logins, there's no two-factor authentication, there's no third-party app, nothing. It's just built in seamlessly to the wallet application, and that's hard to beat if you are an iPhone user. And if you don't have the Apple Card, you apply for the Apple Card straight from the wallet application as well. So it's seamless from beginning to end. And one misconception that a lot of people seem to have about the Apple Card is they think that you can only use it on Apple products. And sure, you get the most benefits by buying Apple products with the Apple Card, but it's meant to be an everyday credit card, and that's what I use it for. Now, unfortunately, it is only available in the US still as of right now. It could be expanding in the future, but as of right now, it is only in the US. But like I said, this is a general spending, like daily credit card. And it's actually my go-to daily credit card that I use for the majority of my purchases. And you can see right here in the app, we have a credit card. That's what the physical credit card looks like. And you can see that it's color coordinated. So the orange and the purple and the white, that's all color coordinated based on what you spent in terms of categories. So if we go into like, this is just the interface right here. So it shows our card balance. It shows how much we have available. So our credit limit. It shows our weekly activity along with how much daily cash we've acquired in the week. You can also change this if you tap on it to be monthly or yearly as well, and it shows those figures right there. And if you go into here, you can actually see the different categories. So the purple, as you can see, is for services, yellow is for shopping, orange is for food and drinks. So if we go back to the previous month, you could see more transactions here and kind of what those look like. And if you go down here, you could see very easily the category and the merchant. So if you go to category, it will show you how much you've spent in that category and also how much more or less you've spent in that category, like period over period. So in this instance, it would be month over month. If I did a year, it'd be year over year, that little, up arrow or down arrow right there. So you could also go down and see your payments, your refunds, and your cashback adjustments. And if you go into here, you could see more about each, transaction, the transactions in each category. So this one right here, for example, it shows me exactly where it was, the time, and how much cash back I got, so 2%. If I tap on that, it will also show me a map of exactly where that purchase took place. And at the bottom, it shows very easily the total and the daily cash back. You could tap on it again to get even more information and show, the Apple Card that was used. You could see shown on statements. You can change the categories right here. So if it miscategorized, so everything is automatically categorized, but you can change that category manually if you would like to. As you can see the exact time up top. You could also report an issue. And if you do that, it will allow you to text with Apple support to fix that issue. So that's one thing I also wanted to hit on really quickly is that support for the Apple Card has been phenomenal. Every time I've needed to get money back, like a cash or like a transaction reversed or something like that, or I needed a refund, every time I reached out to support, it was never on the phone. I was actually just able to text them through like iMessage support, and they got all my problems resolved quickly and easily, like no need for anybody on the phone or anything. It was amazing. And if we go to the year right here, you could see basically a breakdown of these categories. So for shopping, that is easily my most spent category, $45,000 in the last year. You can see services, also health. So I do have things with health. So my health insurance also gets paid on auto pay. There's probably a better way to do that, but I do use my Apple Card for that. And as you can see, two of my lowest categories right here are travel and transportation. And that is no coincidence. That's because I use this card for pretty much every single purchase aside from travel and transportation, and also eating out like restaurants. But we'll touch on that in a moment. But travel and transportation are the two that I would really not recommend the Apple Card for. So if you're somebody who travels a lot, if you're somebody who Ubers a lot or does transportation a lot, gas, even EV charging, the Apple Card is probably not going to be the best for that. But you know what else is one of the top reasons you should get an Apple Card, and really one of the best features of the Apple Card as well? It's security, because not only are there no numbers on the physical card, also you do have instant number changes in the app. So if you go up here to my card, if I tap on the card right here, you can see I can request a new number with a tap of a button. We also have advanced fraud protection. So it says your security code changes periodically to keep your virtual card number safe. So you can do that to change, the CVV code whenever you want, right? We'll just, rotate through different CVVs over time, and that will change. So it won't affect your subscriptions or anything. It will change automatically in those subscriptions as well. And also, one of the best things is that if you look at the terms of service, it says that Apple and Goldman Sachs do not sell your purchase information. So any of your purchase data will not be sold to brokers. So you should know that, you should have some peace of mind with your purchases, just knowing that that data is staying on device. And you know who else can prevent your data from being sold online? Today's sponsor, Incogni. So Incogni helps you clean up your name online, and that's more necessary than ever before because new data brokers and people search sites are popping up daily, and unlike with the Apple Card, they are collecting and selling your personal information, and they're posting it online for anybody to see. This includes information like your address, your phone number, your login credentials, maybe even your credit card number in some cases, and more. So I used to get bombarded with random spam text messages and emails until I got my info removed using Incogni. Now, thankfully, I never had anybody show up at my doorstep, but I'm sure that's happened to some people before since this data is so easily accessible. And this service is great because Incogni's automated system works around the clock, reaching out to data brokers on your behalf to request the removal of your personal data. It's super simple to use as well. You just create an account, you tell Incogni what data you want removed, and you just sit back and let their system do its thing. So do yourself a favor and Google your name and your phone number, and if you see, your actual information there, you'll greatly benefit from Incogni. And thankfully for you, you can get 60% off of an annual plan by using my special link below or using code Butch at checkout. And I do need to address something you might have noticed. I'm not holding the physical card. And that's because, yes, the Apple Card, in my opinion, is probably the best looking credit card out there. It's so clean. It's titanium. On the front, it just has the Apple logo and MasterCard. And on the back, it shows your name on the front as well. And then on the back, it's blank. You don't see any credit card numbers or anything like that. So you have your chip, your name, your Apple logo, MasterCard. That's pretty much it. It's really clean. It's amazing. But honestly, titanium cards these days are everywhere. So it's not really that special anymore. But what's more is that it only gets you 1% cash back no matter where you spend it. So if you use the physical card, you're basically leaving some money on the table. So that's why I personally have not even used the physical card. I can't even find my physical card since 2019. And even if I did have my physical card, I'd much rather use my Citi Costco Anywhere card that gets me 3% cash back at restaurants, or my Amex Platinum that offers dining rewards. And I also prefer the point system of Amex. But if you do use Apple Pay like I do the majority of the time, you will get 2% cash back, and you'll also get 3% cash back when shopping at an Apple store or on apple.com. And this does also apply to subscriptions and apps and things like that. You'll get 3% cash back, which is really nice for the Apple Card. So obviously, anytime I purchase an Apple product or service, I am using the Apple Card every single time. Now, there are other benefits. So if you go up here to the three dots and tap on rewards and offers, you will see the lifetime daily cash received. I'll talk about that in a moment. That is all cash that I've received just from spending money on this card. So I didn't put a single cent in, and that's what I get. But if you go down here, we do have merchant benefits. And if you go to see details, you will see that you will get some additional cash back from different vendors like booking.com, 3%, ChargePoint, ExxonMobil, Hertz, Nike, Uber Eats. You can see you will get 3% cash back and sometimes even more at some of these select merchants. But going back up to the top with the daily cash, this is a big benefit of this card. And that's because the daily cash that you receive is available right away. Right once you get that cash back, you will be able to spend it. It will be in your account right away. You don't have to wait 24 hours. You don't have to wait until the next, billing cycle. You will get access to that right away. And what makes this even better is that you could also have this money going into an Apple savings account, which is essentially just a high yield savings account, and it offers a competitive rate at 3.65%. Obviously, it's not going to be the best APY, but it will be competitive or somewhat competitive with some of the big dogs like Ally and SoFi. And you can see, how much I've gained here. So this is all, just from cash back. I didn't put any money in. This is all just cash back I've received, from my purchases. Obviously, you have to spend money to get this, but it's cool because this money compounds over time. You don't think about it. So all my daily cash back goes immediately into my Apple savings account. Now I can pull this money out whenever I want to. I can add money. I can deposit money into here if I wanted to. If I wanted to move away from a SoFi bank or something like that, I can do that. But you can see all my daily cash goes into my Apple savings account. Now, keep in mind, this is separate. You do have to apply for this separately, but it is an option right there. If you tap on these three dots, you could see, your account details and your documents and things like that. And if we go down here, you can see that I've been paid $241 for nothing this year. So this year I've gotten $241 just for having my money in this Apple savings account, gaining 3.65% as of the time of recording. And you might be looking at that $9,400 number and being like, well, I could get much more back on my Amex card, or I can get much more back if I used this card, like a Sapphire card or something like that. But that's not the point. So the point of the Apple Card is not to be like the best ROI. Like, first off, there really is no ROI because there's no annual fee. There's no type of fees at all. So there's really no investment that you're making to get a return on. So basically, the Apple Card is more of a convenience, credit card. It's basically one that you're going to be able to use every day and really just have the clean interface, the built-in interface to your iPhone, no logins, no 2FA, no third-party applications, no third-party support, things like that. It's just right here in the wallet application. You're really paying for that convenience, and just the UI and the UX of this application is phenomenal. It's also really great at teaching people, especially if you're a beginner. This application is, this Apple Card, I should say, is so beginner friendly because it makes everything so simple. So it shows your card balance right there. It shows your, credit amount that you have left. And if you go to pay off your card, so if you go to pay right here, this is the part that I think is the best because Apple basically wants you to pay everything on time. So a lot of these credit card companies make money when you miss a payment and they charge those fees, but you don't have that with the Apple Card. So they make it dead simple to really understand when you're paying off your card. And this is something I really love about this. So first off, you can see right here, it shows exactly when this is due. So it shows the card balance up top right there, $37.40.88. And you can move this as well. So it goes from red to yellow to green to blue. So if you go into the red right here, this is going to be, the interest charge. So it shows you exactly how much you'll pay in interest right there, $60.92 if I pay only $37 on, how much do I have here? So if I only pay $37 on $3,700, I would pay $60.92 in interest. And it shows exactly when that hits, December 31st. There's no questions. If I go up, if I pull this up right here to, the yellow, so $1,300, I'd pay $38 in interest. If I make this up a little bit more right here, I turn green because I have no interest if I pay $27.29 out of my card balance, which is up top. And if I go all the way, I can pay off the full thing, of course, and there are no interest charges for that either. So they make it super simple and interactive. There's haptic feedback and everything for this. It's so clean. And also down here, it says pay card balance. Paying the total amount you've spent is a great way to clear your balance and stay ahead of your finances, and it changes based on each thing that you choose. Now, we have to talk about the whole Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase situation going on right now. So basically, if you're not aware, Goldman Sachs has been losing billions of dollars on this Apple Card with Apple, and now Apple is rumored to be switching to JP Morgan Chase. Now, a lot of people are asking, will this impact the end user experience? Will we actually notice many differences with the Apple Card? And if I had to guess, I would say no. There's going to be probably a lot of back-end changes, but things that we're actually going to be able to see, I don't really see too much changing with this. So I don't think it's worth worrying about or, waiting to see what's going to happen before you get the Apple Card. I really don't think it's going to make much of a difference because this is an Apple Card at the end of the day. So Apple makes a lot of these decisions, and I don't really see them changing a ton with the Apple Card just because they're switching from Goldman to Chase. Now, I have to mention in the application as well that tracking your expenses is so much easier in the Apple Card, like in the wallet application, than any other application I've used. I've used Citi, I've used Amex, I've used a lot of different credit cards, and their interface, as you can just tell right here, I mean, you can admit it, even if you're not, a user of the Apple Card, this just looks so much cleaner. It's so much easier to track your expenses. So with every other, system, especially Amex, I would always have to export my transactions and then put them in a spreadsheet manually to be able to categorize everything. But Apple makes it so simple without ever needing to even export anything. Now, you can export your information very easily, but honestly, I don't need to. I can look at this and I can get a great overview of my spending, and I'm able to manage my spending much better with the Apple Card than any other card I've owned. And I should also mention the monthly installments as well, because this is another major benefit of the Apple Card if you buy a lot of Apple products, and that is that you can get 0% interest on Apple products if you use the Apple Card. So you can pay off, like you can see here, my 13-inch iPad Pro, I financed that amount. Actually, I canceled that one. So let me go to one I actually went through. So the Vision Pro right here, you can see I had 12 installments of $308, and my total financed was the actual amount. There was 0% interest, as you can see right there. So, you can get 0% APY for 12 months on Apple purchases, which is a really good benefit if you're somebody who buys, some of these Apple products on a consistent basis. Now, we do also have Apple Card Family. This is a feature built in. If you tap on Add User, you can see it says you can add up to 5 members of your family sharing group to your Apple Card. So you can have co-owners, participants, and you can build credit together. So it says co-owners and participants age 18 and over can build their own credit history. So if you're a parent and you're trying to build, credit for your kids, this could be a potential good way to do that. But not everything is great with the Apple Card. There are a few cons I wanted to mention. So number one, this is only available still in the US. So that is a big con if you're outside of the US. Also, if you don't have an iPhone or an Apple device, you're not able to access the Apple Card, information at all from like a web browser on a PC. So that could be a con as well if you're maybe away from your iPhone. Also, the cashback system is just not the greatest. It's not the most competitive out there. But again, for me, I'm not buying this card to pinch every little penny out of my spending. So if I can get something, that's fine. I'm not trying to, penny pinch and get every single cent out. So it's not a huge con to me, and I don't think it really should be for most people. But, unless you're spending like millions of dollars, then it might make a big difference. But, that's something I wanted to mention as well, because if you're trying to get the best, rewards, the best cash back, this is not the card for you. And of course, if you're somebody who travels a lot, you should have another credit card, most likely an Amex or like a Chase Sapphire or like, one of these other venture cards, things like that. You should have one of those for travel, because the Apple Card is just not going to be good for travel. I think some other credit cards out there are far and away better. And that's why I personally use my Amex Platinum for any type of travel expense. So with that being said, who should get the Apple Card? And I think that number one, beginners. If you're trying to get your first credit card, I think the Apple Card is far and away the best credit card to get as your first credit card. It's great for education. It's great for the interface. It honestly makes paying off your card fun. Like if I go right here, this is actually fun and it's intuitive. So I don't think there's a better card for a beginner than the Apple Card. But obviously, even if you're not a beginner, I'm not a beginner, and I love this card. This is my daily card for the interface itself. And it's also great because there's just no fees. Like I said before, like there's no foreign transaction fee. There's no late fees, which you should never have late fees anyways. You should pay off your credit card, use your credit card like a debit card. But, not financial advice, but, I have to just say that. And, I just love being able to go to other countries and not even need to worry about if my card will be accepted or not, because there are no fees. Like there's no additional fees on top of that. The only way it wouldn't work is if they don't accept MasterCard. So with that being said, do I regret spending nearly $300,000 on the Apple Card, whereas I could have maybe got more money back or more of an ROI on other cards? And I would have to say, no, I don't regret it one bit. Like I said, I've just enjoyed this interface so much, and I've spent my other, money like travel and big expenses on my Amex card. So I'm not really feeling like I lost out on money by using my Apple Card on anything I've used it for in the past 6 years. And again, I would never use any other card to purchase anything from Apple besides the Apple Card, because it's just far and away better. And also those monthly installments at 0% are also really nice to have. And I really just see the Apple Card as more of a lifestyle credit card instead of like a travel hack or a credit card hacking card that you're really focusing on the rewards for. It's more of just a lifestyle. It's more of an everyday. You use it, you forget about it, you get the notifications, you get the interface, you can see your spending, all of that right there. It's so simple, so great. And I personally love the Apple Card. Now I understand it's not for everybody. Not everybody's going to value the interface and the UI and the UX and all the things I mentioned. They're just going to be so hardcore on the rewards and the cashback and the travel hacking and things like that. And that's fine. Those are the people who should not get this card if you're in that category, or this should just be a secondary card to that travel hacking card that you have. But anyways, guys, those are my thoughts on the Apple Card after nearly $300,000 spent over the past 6 years. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more on the Apple Card, let me know in a comment down below. And if you have one, let me know in a comment down below how much you're enjoying it and what you actually use it for. I'm really curious to see, what you use your Apple Card for. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.